So I wanted to ask you a personal question.
Sure.
At what point was there ever a point where you felt like you weren't gonna make it in animation or comics, and it was just like a low point, and you're like, my career is over. Like I'm never gonna work again, and or things are so tough right now.
Uh, I suppose there was, but I guess my fix or my workaround for any of those moments, because you have them, you
Yeah.
just always do, um, was diversify. I had a lot of irons in the fire, and I still do. Um, my my whole film career side of stuff. I've had a couple of possible. I could have had about 4 or 5 different careers than the
Mm-hmm.
ones I've had. That they in an ad company. I worked at IRS Records. I could have had an. I did some A&R for them. I like going out and listening to bands and stuff. I also play music. Joe Casey also plays music as well. And I think I just always thought I'm just gonna, if one thing isn't gonna take off, I'm gonna concentrate on another one, or I'll keep that afloat. And that's just always been my goal, is just to keep busy. There's so many different opportunities. My big problem was that I think some of them required more focus than I was giving
Yeah.
them at different times. So if things weren't happening for me, it was because I wasn't focusing as much and giving as much effort to it as I should be.
That makes sense.
Um, and I guess ultimately there are like two different ways. There's responsibilities and just kind of the pragmatics of life, paying bills and things like that. And those are much more immediate concerns. Those are not the big questions. I don't know if I care if ultimately didn't have a comics career. I would have still been telling stories
Yeah.
and doing comics, and that's different. Getting paid for it is wonderful,
Yeah.
but I've had plenty. I've had more just basic labor jobs, tarring roofs, moving stuff, picking up leaves.
Mowing lawns.
Mowing lawns. I honestly I started working at around 11,
Yeah.
and really never stopped. By age 15, I was getting a paycheck from Baskin Robbins.
Oh wow.
So as far as work goes, I don't have an ego about work. Work's work, and
Yeah.
if I can pay a bill, that's great with that. The art stuff, I'm not going to ever depend on somebody else's approval for
Yeah.
it. And now these days, the most wonderful thing is with the internet, I have my own distribution model.
Yeah, it's
It's a marketing model that I need to
Exactly.
think about.
Yeah.
But
And that's the way it goes.